but maybe through you, the chair, you can direct that because this money was paid through the bank, I think KCB Bank, you can direct that maybe the statements for this particular period be produced to confirm that this payment was made, so that we can reconcile the amount of 33 million.
I don't know where they have indicated that this money was paid through KCB. Where is that indicated? Because
on the schedule. On the schedule.
Because in your narration you said some of it was paid by M-Pesa, some of it was paid by cash.
But I think they have provided a list of...
There is that schedule there, Chair.
Yeah, I think where it starts from, if the payment voucher is invalid, then we do not need to waste time to go into the details, because that's where it starts from. If the payment voucher was proper, then we could query the attached documents. Unless, Auditor General, you want us to send you back to do a verification.
Chair, please allow me also to say that in the response given on paragraph 2 by the client, they are saying supporting documents together with reconciliation with respect to the compensation of employee variance are available for further review. So I think this information which is not before this committee. Thank you, Chair.
We have a problem, and I started with this, and I'm being very hard on this because we will see this recurring in other queries. So this one, despite the request by Senator for Vihiga, I think what has messed this is the payment voucher, which has been presented to us, which is clearly a nullity, the manner in which it has been presented, and we do not take it that this is an error, because having been reviewed by several people, I see about 4 signatures on it. I do not think all these people would be stupid to approve a payment voucher with the wrong narration. But I do believe that for them to pay arrears in the future, then there must have been a conspiracy by the people who processed this payment voucher. If this is evidence that you are maintaining supports the 33 million. So I think we'll leave it for the committee to make a decision, and we shall also cross-reference with what the County Assembly did. I don't want to send the auditor back to audit this, because this matter has been outstanding for long. We proceed to unsupported expenditure under the use of goods and services. I think this one, we have been briefed that there were several legs to it, and the amount that is in question is about 1.7 million.
Yes, Chair.
So at least 1 million has been supported.
1 million has been supported, yes.
And the 1 million that has been supported is which one? PV number 424?
PV number 424.
And PV number 493?
493 has been partially supported.
Okay, it's quite a long finding, but since there are outstanding matters, let's just have it read. Read it, Auditor General, and the Governor shall respond.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Unsupported expenditure and the use of goods and services. Note 12 to the financial statements reflects use of goods and services, amount of Kenya shillings 907.9 million, which includes foreign travel, and subsistence amount of Kenya shillings 40.9 million. Examination of foreign travel expenditure general ledger reviewed an adjustment of Kenya shillings 1.45 million that was not supported or explained. Further, the foreign and travel ledger included daily allowances paid to staff amounting to Kenya shillings 15.8 million, which was not supported with documentation detailing the purpose of the foreign travel and boarding passes as evidence that the officers actually traveled. Further, Chair, the use of goods and services expenditure includes hospitality, supplies and services amounts of Kenya shillings 105.5 million as disclosed in note 12 to the financial statements. The amount of Kenya shillings 105 includes an amount totaling to 2.78 million that were not supported as detailed under that table, Chair. And the first one is the payment voucher 424.
Just refer to the table.
Yeah. We are saying,
or maybe instead of reading the contents of the table, you can just refer to the table.
I refer to the table, Chair. In addition, the rentals of produced assets, expenditure of Kenya shillings 7.1 million, includes payments of 3.2 million in respect of Bale of office, which relate to financial years 2018-2019 and 2019-2020. However, the payment was not supported with a duly executed lease agreement and well-documented procurement process that was followed. The amount of Kenya shillings 3.2 million, Chair, was also not included in the pending bills reported as at 30th June 2020, hence not an authorized charge on the budget for the year under review. Further, the training expenditure of Kenya shillings 11.7 million includes payments of daily subsistence allowance totaling to 3.1 million and unsupported payments of 920,000. Under the circumstances, Chair, the accuracy and validity of the use of goods and services amount of 907.9 million reflected in the statement of receipts and payments for the year 30th June 2022 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Governor, you may respond.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, allow me to request my Chief Officer in charge of budgeting to respond, Mr. Keverenge.
Thank you, Excellence. Chairman, we are responding to the query as follows, that the management sought clarification from the auditor regarding the 1,450,000, and since management could not trust the same from the expenditure schedule of foreign travel as indicated by the auditor. So we have so far not gotten that explanation or the breakdown of that. Further, management would also like to clarify, Chair, that the daily allowance totaling to 15,875,580 that was paid under foreign travel were expenditure charged under item code 2210000, which is use of goods and services. This comprises of various related sub-items, what heads. The supporting document in respect to the austerity supplies and services of amount totaling to 2,780,300 are available for further verification. The lease agreement and procurement documents in respect to the rental of produced assets towards Mbale office are on file at the time of the audit and are still available for examination. And the management also would like to clarify that included in training expenses were daily subsistence allowance totaling to 3,109,600 that were paid to staff who underwent various capacity building activities during the period under review. These allowances are also within the same class of expenditure as under item code 2210000. Then there is a payment of 920,000 as observed by the auditor was allowances paid to participants for distribution of wheelchairs to people living with disability within the county by the Department of Gender, Culture, Youth, Sports and Social Services. The payment voucher and supporting document are available for review. We have attached supporting documents as appendices 3A to E and are available on file. Thank you, Chairman.
Auditor General, what's your report on the responses and the appendices?
I wish to confirm that the daily subsistence, indeed the 1.4 million was an adjustment that even as we were unable to trace. So that one may have been an error when you were picking the figures. But for the daily subsistence allowance, 15,875,580 has been supported. The amount, the lease agreement with the Mbale office has also been supported, and we were able to see the amount of 920,000 that was paid to staff in the distribution of the wheelchairs. But the amount of 999,600 approved work plan and budget before commencement of the activity and output report. We saw that one. But when it comes to requisition memo for the workshop plus approved budget, that is the amount, that is payment voucher number 126. That amount has not been supported. Voucher 493, an amount of 233,100 out of that amount has not been supported. And also the 750,000 has not been supported. Thank you.
So, Governor, I think this one we need to make a very quick progress on, because it's about 1.7 million. So in terms of materiality, we should not spend too much time on it. Where is the supporting documents for PV number 126? Has it been provided to the Auditor General? And where is it in our bundle?
Yeah. Chief in charge of budget, can you check that?
Because you have said you have supported everything, the entire 2.7. Just refer us and the auditor to your supporting documents for PV 126.
Okay. Okay, Chairman, PV 126 is a breakdown. So I think let me trace that. We have a voucher for 987. Let me just trace
but
it.
PV 126 is 600,000.
Just a minute.
You can refer us to the appendix if it's before us.
Serial number 108, Chair.
Sorry?
Serial number 108. We have serialized the appendices up there.
108. So, Chair, this is a breakdown. What the auditor picked out, they picked out 687,700, but the voucher was a voucher that has an total amount of 987,700.
Okay, so the missing documents have been listed there very clearly. They were in the management letter.
Yes.
Requisition memo for the workshop plus approved budget. So where is that?
The request now is 109. The requisition for the workshop is serial number 109.
And approved budget?
Chair, allow me to request Chief of Staff Finance to direct us where that is.
Yeah, Chair, the timetable stroke approved work plan is from serial number 120 going up to serial number 122.
Approved budget? Wasn't this in the management letter?
Chair, it was.
So I think it's just easy to point us, say that this is a memo, this is the approved budget, and we close it. It's 687,000. We should not spend more than 2 minutes on it.
Yeah, Chair, if you check serial number 109 in the requisition is also itemizing the bringing out the budget for that activity. That is serial number 109. The requisition to the Chief Officer in charge of health services, public health and medical services, is stating the budget for the activity.
Where is that stated?
Allow me to read.
Yeah.
That is a request for reimbursement. The above subject refers. Please, attached please is a budget for sensitization on teenage pregnancies and drug abuse that took place at Rodis within members of County Assembly.
Where is it? Where is that attached? Where is that attached budget? It reads on the letter, attached is a budget for sensitization. Where is it? Where is the attachment?
Chair, my understanding is the intention was to say, to refer to
No,
down, the
where
table
is
down.
that attachment? That's a question we are asking. We want a memo, a requisition memo, and we are seeing it here, and we want an approved budget. Simple. You see, you've had this report for the last 2-3 years, and we are not making up things. We are just reading out what the Auditor General flagged. The Auditor General wanted a request, and I think this, whatever you're reading, to me looks like a requisition. Then they're asking for an approved budget. You are saying attached is a budget. Where is it? How does the Senate then make a decision in the absence of that attachment?
Chair, our understanding is...
Not your understanding. Where is the budget that you are referring to? And where is the budget that the Auditor General is asking for? This thing is simple. If it's there, it's there. If it's not there, there is no understanding. This is a game of numbers, records, not stories. So do we have a budget attached here?
Chair, I think it's clear that we don't have the budget attached.
But wasn't there a conversation between the Office of the Auditor General and your officers before they came to Nairobi? Because I don't...
Yes, they did.
10
Yes.
minutes on 600,000.
Yes, they had a time to sit together, and we agreed that they confirm all this. So they sat together.
Auditor General, didn't you ask for these specific documents?
I did, and I even said that you have not supported this, and I requested that it be supported.
So what do you have to say, just so that we could close it? Because we can't spend more time on 600,000.
Yes, Chair, the records that we looked for led us to this requisition, which was itemizing the amount that was involved for this activity. So we could not come up with a new document that was not
So
used.
it does not exist. Whatever the Auditor General is asking for does not exist. You can't get it. From the records you inherited, you cannot get it.
Yes, what we established
that's what you're supposed to say. Because you are not the chief officer then. So make our life easy so that we can move fast. If you cannot retrieve that record, we also don't expect you to cook it. So just be frank and say, Mr. Chair, we do not have that record, and then we take a decision.
Well guided, Chair.
Okay, so I think as far as that 687 is concerned, we have no clarity on that. We shall make a decision. What about the 233,000 outstanding interest, PV number 493?
Yes, they have even confirmed that they were unable to account for it.
Is that the case, Governor?
Let me confirm from the chief officer.
Yeah, 233,000. I think this was treated as interest. And we are very clear on interest management, when and how they should be recovered. So, Chief Officer, are you confirming the 233,100? You don't have records to support it?
343, Chair. 343, Chair, not 233.
So it's the entire amount?
Yes, because the evidence we have is of 343.
You have evidence?
Yes, which we want to lead the committee to.
But the 343 was recovered?
Was surrendered, was accounted for.
Okay.
343.
Make it quick again. 300,000 should not take us long.
123. 123. So, Chair, that is serial number 123. The voucher for payment voucher for Capstone Musiega. The amount is 343. Activity was... And if you go to serial number 125, Chair, it will show you the beneficiaries of the amount disbursed. Serial number 125 and also 126. We have also tabled the attendance list, Chair. That is from serial number 127 all the way to serial number 131.
Auditor General, what's your problem with that? I'm seeing a warrant, I'm seeing a surrender of a similar amount.
They give me the information, they give me the vouchers, but then there's a rider somewhere there where they are telling me that an amount of 233,100 was not accounted for, was unaccounted.
Who told you? The county?
Yes, in the response, yes.
So what is this warrant and surrender?
Chair, maybe with your permission, allow me to give clarification that the statement of 233 is coming from the auditor, not from the county. That's an audit query, not the response from the county.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. I agree. It is coming from us.
So what's the position?
The position is the vouchers were provided to me subsequently.
So this is closed?
Yeah, this is closed, sorry.
750,000, PV 80? What you're looking for is a work plan
Chairman,
and budget for the exercise.
We have that under folio number 132. Under folio 132, we have a payment voucher for 978,600. The 750 was part of it. It was this voucher catered for 750, the auditor queried, plus another amount for 228,600. So you will see folio serial number 133 talks about the total amount. A request for the total amount 978,600. Then folio number 130, the next folio number 134 breaks down how the utilization, the schedule. Then we have the payment vouchers, the schedule for payment from 135, and then we have 136. So we have indicated to the auditor that payment voucher 80 was a total of 978,600, and the breakdown is provided.
Auditor General?
The voucher and records that I have show 750. In fact, I don't understand this, where this came from.
So you have another voucher for 750 and not 978. Where's the PV number on this voucher?
The PV number is at the bottom, PV number 80.
Where is it?
At the bottom of the document. Serial number 132 at the bottom.
Under cash book voucher number 80.
Yes.
Auditor General, do you have another voucher number 80 with a different amount?
From our records and from what we have in our, the voucher number was 80, the amount was 750. So I'm getting a bit confused also.
So how do you get the same PV number with different amounts? There seems to be a big problem, because remember the first PV that we interacted with, and that's why I spent time on it, because I anticipated these issues. How do you have the same PV number with different amounts? What is the narration on your PV, or the PV you have?
It was for a human resource exercise that was to be carried out.
Just read the narration. We see whether it's the same as the narration here.
Approved work plan with the details on the officers to be involved plus the budget for the exercise.
No. The narration on the PV, on your PV number 80.
Yeah.
Being claimed for further extension of the human resource verification exercise as per the attached exercise.
And the amount is?
Amount is 978,600 here in this voucher.
No, but you said you have something different.
In our records.
Do you have that? Do you have a
I don't have it with me here.
But then how do you corroborate that?
Before we eventually issue the management letter, we go over these things.
So are you saying that the county went and falsified a payment voucher?
I would not make that allegation, but I'm unable to confirm that what has been presented here is what I had.
We took from the system.
Just a minute, because we are getting into very dangerous territory, and which is quite unprecedented, because I've not seen a situation where the Auditor General says, I've got PV 80 with 750, and the county has got PV 80 with 978, what makes it neat is for the auditor to say, this is it, this is our PV 80.
Chair, I can
and we compare, just a minute, and we compare with the county's PV 80. In the absence of that, OAG, in the absence of that, we are making our life very difficult. Because for us to agree with you, and that's why your report is only final after consideration by Parliament and the County Assembly. For us to agree with you, we must see the records that you have. And if you have a different set of records, then we fix these guys for falsifying payment vouchers, which is a serious crime. Which is a serious crime under the PFM. But if you can't give us your version of voucher number 80, then we cannot take that route.
Sure, I wish to be given time. I'll be able to get this voucher.
So at our report writing, please produce the voucher number 80 that you have. We compare with this.
Agreed.
Senator Vice Chair, please go on record.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, my neighbors. Cherargei Kiprotich is my name, Senator Nandi County, and the Vice Chair of this committee. Chair, with your indulgence, just out of curiosity, I've seen annexures. I know most of our clients, when they appear, they think senators are too busy to notice. I don't know, out of curiosity, I can see number 134, number 135, all through. What was the purpose of 134? Because in 135, you have been specific, because I was wondering, you say CCM 12,600, one of them 9 days, 133,400, 978. Is this not duplication? Because I thought you should have used this annexure, the second one, because it's more specific as opposed to the top one. Is this not duplication? And then if you had used this one, why would you use something that I thought it is more neater to have the name, the title, ID number, the signature, and the payments? So why would you just say CCM and you are not specific which chief executive you see, which chief officer you see, which director, at least director legal, who are these? Do you find this document unnecessary that should not have been attached? Because it leads us to know to or auditor, is this document 134 sufficient to lead you in? Let's assume this was the only document that was available. Would we know that is CCM, for example, who was paid 12,600 times 9 days, he was 1 CCM.
It would not give any information.
So it is unnecessary.
Redundant, yeah.
Yeah, it's just crowding. Thank you, Chair. That was
maybe Chair can clarify that. Huh? The document on serial number 134 was at requisition stage when the activity.
But why don't you become specific?
Then the document number 135, Chair, is now surrendered.
No. Don't be smart. Don't be too smart. Yeah, I know you are not there, so I'm asking, even if you are making requisition, you cannot make requisition for nothing. You must be specific. Even when we are praying, you must be specific to God. You cannot just pray for open and say, even this committee were to make a requisition to travel to Isiolo, for example, before the club of the Senate. You must be specific who are those senators. Because another senator of ICT or chair of CPIX or TSOTSI can be also a senator. So just let it lie. Don't chase something that you might regret.
Yeah, so I think we have, on this issue of PV, OAG, you must confirm to us your version of PV number 80. And if it does not tally with the PV number 80 that has been presented by the county executive, Governor, we shall declare your government a criminal enterprise. Because we have already seen evidence of falsification of payment vouchers. And if we find another payment voucher that has been falsified, then we will declare it as it is, as a criminal enterprise. And Senator Onyonka is just whispering to me that his view is that you are leading in the public front with good intentions, but you have got a lot of crafty people around you who are running rings around you. It is either that or you are part of that enterprise. But what is playing out is completely untidy. So let's the amounts are small, but if it is true that there are different versions of the same PV, then you have a much, much bigger problem. And we might want to call on the EACC to carry out a forensic audit on your financial management systems, particularly payments relating to that financial year. So please, I think since you have those records, you don't have to wait for report writing. Please present that to the clerk of the Senate in the next 1 week.
That one we can do because it is part of the test. We have the voucher in the office.
Okay, fine. Let's proceed then. I think that matter we shall keep it pending until we get the confirmation from the Office of the Auditor General. Transfer to other government units. OAG, you confirm that this has been resolved?
I confirm that this has been confirmed by the County Assembly.
The Assembly has confirmed they received 25.9 million.
That is true, Chair.
So there's no contention there?
There's no contention.
That's okay. We shall take the written responses under other grants and payments. The transfers to health facilities.
Chair, I wish to confirm that indeed this amount was subsequently confirmed that they were received.
Can you confirm that the health facilities are now preparing financial statements?
I also wish to confirm that the health facilities are preparing financial statements.
From which financial year?
From the year we audited last year, and some even presented even prior years financial statements. So we have audited at least the last one financial year.
And the propriety of the 566,000?
That was an amount that was paid outside of the sports fund, and I think we felt that this amount was not adequately supported because anything sports should be incurred inside the sports fund, the Vihiga County Sports Fund. Thank you.
Are you saying you still have a problem with the 566,000?
Yes, because it was incurred to facilitate the world sports, and we were wondering why they could not pay it through the fund itself. Thank you, Chair. 566.
Governor, where the Auditor General still has questions, we have no other option but to go through the issue, irrespective of the amount. So we'll be forced to go through this. Auditor General, read your finding.
The statement of receipts and payments and note 15 to the financial statements reflects other grants and payments amounting to Kenya shillings 873. However, the amount differs with the general ledger amount of Kenya shillings 887,043,464, resulting to an unexplained and unreconciled variance of 13,062,902. Further, the amount includes payments totaling to Kenya shillings 139,693,766 transferred to health facilities whose bank accounts had not been accounted for in the financial statement.
That paragraph you are satisfied?
That paragraph I'm satisfied.
Okay, proceed. In
addition, the other grants and payments amounting to Kenya shillings 873,985,62 includes an amount of Kenya shillings 566,000 paid towards world sports facilitation. However, sports activities in the county are supposed to be funded through the Vihiga County Sports Fund, which was funded to the tune of Kenya shillings 30 million shillings during the year under review, and no reason was provided for funding of the sports activities outside the fund. Consequently, the propriety of the expenditure of Kenya shillings 566,000 incurred to facilitate world sports could not be confirmed.
Okay, your conclusion?
Under the circumstances, the accuracy and validity of other grants and payments totaling to Kenya shillings 873,980,562,000 for the year ended 30th June 2021 could not be confirmed.
Okay, Governor, your response?
Chair, allow me to request the Chief Officer in charge of Finance to respond.
Thank you, Chair. I'll refer the committee to the second part of our response, which says the Vihiga County Sports Management Act 2019, Part 5, provides for eligibility criteria for sponsorship of local teams. The county executive provides support to annual county ward soccer tournament, which is not funded by the sports fund kitty. The expenditure of Kenya shillings 566,000 that was observed by the auditor was a sponsorship by the county executive to the facility to facilitate the county ward soccer tournament. And Chair, serial number 263 we have attached an extract of the Vihiga County Sports Management Act 2019. And if you go to serial number 264, part 5, which talks of eligibility criteria for sponsorship, I will lead you to section 6 of part 5, which talks of levels of sponsorship. And part 6 says, Chair, the county sports fund shall have the following categories of sponsorship: the local sports team or youth group participating in football matches may be eligible for partial funding to participate in football matches at the following levels: National Premier League, Super League, or Division 1. Chair, what this means is that other than this, the county also supports other tournaments in the county that are not covered by the sports fund. And that is what this money was used to facilitate, Chair.
Senator Onyo.
CC, what is the issue that is being raised here, according to you, is why you spent money outside the sports fund. So you are actually narrating how you think that actually the county government ends up spending money, whereby activities which are being sponsored by the county government, which are sports activities, must be paid from outside an account which is not the sports fund. I get you right? Is that what you're saying?
Not entirely, Chair. What I'm trying to say, we have the Sports Act, which supports...
Leave the Act. Just leave the Act for now. I want you to simplify it so that I am actually with you.
Thank you. Chair, I wish to say the county has a sports department.
Yes.
Youth and sports department. In that youth and sports department, one of the key activities which are normally budgeted for is to promote sports in the county. So actually this activity was meant to promote sports in the county, but that sports was not related to an activity that warrants to be supported by the sports fund.
What does the sports fund do?
Sports fund supports teams that are categorized in these levels that I've shared with the committee, which is covered.
If an auditor looks at you paying somebody who's playing cricket, for example, in Vihiga, would that be considered an event that can be paid for from the sports fund?
Chair, if it meets the criteria covered in part 5, then it's an eligible activity, as listed in part 5 of this act.
But see, where are the objectives of the fund in your? Because that's where you must start from.
Where is the act?
The objective, because the act, when you set up a fund, there are objectives. Correct. We have just attached financial provisions. So we need to start from the objectives. Where is it?
I agree with you, Chair. The reason why we didn't attach the entire act, we needed to, our intention was to cover the eligibility.
The question is around what is the objective of the fund?
What does the fund do?
Yeah, what's the objective of the fund? And then you can add the financing of the fund, and then you can add eligibility criteria. But any fund established, the first thing is objective, isn't it,
Yes. Can you allow me to be able to respond to what Honorable Senator said? Yes, the sports fund, the way it's been enacted, is mainly to support our teams that have been registered at Division 1 and premium level, those who are playing at the national level. But at the village level, that's at the ward level, this act was crafted so that we can promote sports at the lowest level. But as they move upwards, they now form teams which now can compete in the regional and national levels. So we only sponsor mainly those that are at the national level.
To be honest, Governor, you know, for this amount, that ideally should not even be the question we are pondering over. The question should be, did you have a budget? Was the budget under the fund, or the budget was under your normal appropriation?
the budget was under the department.
Because I thought that is what you needed to provide to the Auditor General, because the Auditor General cannot tell you that for sports it can only go through the fund. If the Assembly has approved a budget and said that we shall spend this amount on this world tournament, that is what you need to present. Because otherwise you are engaging in a very academic conversation. That to me was a way to cure this problem. I don't know whether that is attached anywhere in your
Chair, can I say something?
Yeah. Maybe let me find out. Do you have the budget attached anywhere here?
We have not attached the budget.
In my view, that's the answer to the question. But let's hear from Senator
Chair, you know, Governor, you enact a law and violate it. It is an illegal expenditure. Number one, Chair, the county should provide a full copy of this act so that we look at it during report writing. Number two, and finally, Chair, you remember even the control of budget stopped bursary disbursement resolution for Nandi County because the Bursary Education Act that had been enacted by the County Assembly of Nandi was not meeting certain threshold to allow requisition of money. And COB have pronounced itself on this, and I don't know whether the control of budget is here. So what happened here, Governor, is simple. This is an illegal expenditure. If you wanted, and we know the objective might be noble, that you want to support those teams at the bottom there. But the point is you must amend the law to capture those. Because if you end up spending outside what the law you have enacted, this is an irregularity, it is illegal, and the person who approved this money, although the intention might have been noble, Chair, we must pronounce ourselves to it. That person must bear the responsibility of refunding this 566,000 because this was an illegal expenditure. The law is very clear. You cannot spend money that is outside, that has been provided by the department, and the budget has a Public Finance Management Act. So, Governor, in as much as there is a noble intention, the execution here was very wrong. What you should do in future, and this is my advice, Chair, so that you can tell us what you will do, is just to amend the Vihiga County Sports Fund to include these teams that you're saying. But on this one, Chair, through you, the person who authorized should either the governor should take administrative action against that person, because if you allow this to slide, he will approve other monies in future that might put you in problems. And you know Article 2265, even if you are serving your final and second term, such issues might follow you even into your future endeavors. So, Chair, this person, the governor must tell us when he realized this 566,000 that was paid outside the law, what action has been taken. But if that, and then as a committee we must pronounce ourselves. It might look like small money, 566,000 to some people here might look peanuts, but it means the world to some of the individuals, Chair.
Thank you, Senator Osotsi.
Maybe I just say that I think maybe the first focus should be to amend the law, the Sports Act, so that instead of providing for teams, you also provide for tournaments. Because I'm aware that yes, we have the sports fund, but the county has also been having a program for ward tournaments, the 25 wards. So maybe they need to amend that law so that ward tournaments are captured as one of the items to be sponsored under the Sports Act. But they run the ward tournaments as a program under the county executive.
Thank you. Senator Sifuna.
Yeah, thank you. For me, first of all, I'm impressed that Vihiga even has a sports fund. Because, Chair, here in Nairobi, we have nothing like that of a sort. And yes, and those improvements that are being suggested, Governor, you take it as positive advice. For us here, Chair, as you're aware, our county sports associations depend on Harambes. If they have to go to a place, they are moving around our offices here looking for donations. And for the information of the committee, it is the reason why, Chair, I'll be pushing for an amendment to the Sports Act itself, so that we ring-fence at least 1% of the equitable share of revenue for support of county sporting associations, so that they are able to hire officials for tournaments, referees, travel, and so on and so forth, without relying on the benevolence of elected leaders. So I think we can come and benchmark in Vihiga as Nairobi, so that we also have such a county legislation. I thank you, Chair.
So, maybe Chair, just to add on what Senator Sifuna said, you know, Vihiga, we are blessed. We have quite a number of teams, particularly we have teams which are participating in Premier League, both for girls and men. So I think the wisdom around this act was to have a focus around teams participating in the league. But as I said, I think all expenditure on sports item, it will be smooth if they are run under one fund, as opposed to having one portion of it being run as a program under the county executive and another portion being run as a fund. So I think in recommending to the county, you need to recommend that the Sports Act be amended so that all sports activities are funded from one fund.
Thank you. Senator Nyonka, finally.
I wanted to say, Chair, this is for this. You remember when you were here last, I was so impressed with you. Today it looks like you have a bad day. Today your day is very bad. You see, he explained to me until I understood why you have two. You have the sports fund and the sport happening outside the framework. So they have answered and made the recommendations. In our committee here, we just want you to explain certain things. We are not accusing you. If you explain, you succeed. If you don't have, in the US, they'll say, I can't remember or I don't know. That's still an answer. Thank you.
I think on this particular matter, the amount that has been cited, Governor, are you able to demonstrate that a budget existed?
Yes.
Are you, if you don't have it here, are you able to convey that to the Auditor General within a week? The existence of a budget?
Yes.
Because the others will take as prudential guidelines and, policy recommendations on how to strengthen the Act. But in my view, the only way to support this is by providing a budget, which of course would have been approved by the County Assembly.
Yes.
I think that deals to me with the 566.
Yes,
whether it should be through the fund or through appropriations is at another level.
Yeah.
So I direct that you demonstrate that a budget existed, failure to which we will take the route that was taken by the Senator for Nandi, Senator Cherargei. We move to the next matter on unsupported rehabilitation and renovation of plant, machinery and equipment. Again, the Auditor General indicates that out of the 65 million queried, there is still 18 million outstanding. So, is that the position?
That is the position, yes.
So, we will have to go through the issue if there is any doubt on its resolution. So, please read it.
The acquisition of assets amount of Kenya shillings 1,133,205,535 includes rehabilitation and renovation of plant, machinery and equipment amount of Kenya shillings 139,518,535 as disclosed in Note 17 to the financial statements, which includes disbursement to vocational training colleges of Kenya shillings 65,535,500. However, the expenditure of Kenya shillings 65,535,500 was only supported with the payment vouchers transferring the monies to the vocational training colleges, and there were no audited accountability statements from the colleges provided for audit verification. Further, the bank reconciliation statement for the Youth Polytechnic Fund includes and presented checks to polytechnics amounting to Kenya shillings 73,170,522. The amount was yet to be spent by the respective institutions by 30th June 2021, but the same was not included under the receivables. In addition, the funds deposited and paid out of the Polytechnic Fund account were not reconciled to the opening balance, receipts during the year, and the closing balance. Under the circumstances, the accuracy and validity of the rehabilitation and renovation of plant, machinery and equipment expenditure of Kenya shillings 139,518,535 for the year ended 30th June 2021 could not be confirmed. Chair, I wish to state that out of the money that was sent to the vocational colleges, of 65, 535, 500, at least 41 colleges, which had been advanced an amount of 46,980,000, sent acknowledgement receipts, but an amount of 18,555,500 has not been acknowledged. I also wish to confirm that the TVETs are now preparing financial statements, and they have prepared financial statements from the year 2020, 2021 up to now. They are preparing financial statements.
Okay, Governor, what's your response?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, allow that I request the Chief Officer of Finance to respond.
Thank you, Chair. We wish to respond to the auditor's observation as follows. The accountability documents for the funds disbursed to the VTCs are held and kept at the respective institutions that are dispersed all over the county. To avoid movement of bulky documents, which will result to possible loss or misplacement of crucial information, the auditor was requested to visit the VTCs and carry out the audit exercise from there. The accountability documents are still available in the respective institutions, though the management has attached samples of the payment vouchers for your review. The Kenya shilling 73,170,522 of unpresented checks that was observed by the auditor under Youth Polytechnic Fund Bank could not have been included under the receivables in the financial statement of the county executive of the financial year under review, since these were expenditures under other capital grants and transfers for services rendered and or goods supplied that were incurred towards the closure of the financial year. So, Chair, I wish to clarify, and I've noted the concerns of the auditor. What you have attached, Chair, are the samples of those vouchers. But I get where the auditor is coming from. He says he will want maybe we provide all the vouchers and acknowledgements, which given time, Chair, we can be able to avail.
The first paragraph of your response is an indication of contempt on the role of the Office of the Auditor General. You cannot tell the Auditor General, go to the village polytechnics and get the documents yourselves. You have a constitutional and a statutory duty to maintain custody of financial records. I think this is the kind of, it's symptomatic of a bad relationship between the county and the Office of the Auditor General. This should never come before the Senate, that you told the Auditor General to go and find the documents in the polytechnics. That's contemptuous. Governor, please advise your officers to appreciate the role that the Office of the Auditor General plays, because next time you will be telling us to tell the Senate to go and get the records from the polytechnics. I think the tone here is completely out of order.
Chair, I agree with you, and when we went through this document, I also raised the same concern like what you have just raised.
So this response must be expunged from the records of the Senate, because the Senate then will be presiding over an exercise that is meant to humiliate and demean the Office of the Auditor General. That notwithstanding, the 41 that have acknowledged and have provided accountability statements, were they through the county, or you had to go and look for them the way you had been directed?
No, they actually sent the acknowledgements to us after the county, after the TVTs, the TVETs confirmed the receipt of the amounts.
Is there a template for accountability statements from the colleges? What's, in your view, how does an accountability statement look like? Is it a full financial statement, or is just a one-pager schedule? We received this.
It's just an acknowledgement of receipt, one statement that we have received this.
So why do you refer to that as being bulky, and you being incapable of maintaining custody of those records? Because we have dealt with this in other counties. You'll be sending money to ECDs, you'll be sending money to health centers, you'll be sending money to village polytechnics. Develop just a one-pager template. I don't know whether there's one that exists, that we received, and this is how we spent. That must be in the custody of the accounting officer. Are we, Governor, are we asking for too much?
No.
Is that impossible to maintain?
It is not impossible. It's very easy to do it.
Because in any case, you'd probably be talking of how many colleges were involved? 41.
41.
But the ones that are outstanding,
I'm able to confirm the number
you'll probably be dealing with just 60 pages.
Yes.
That cannot be described as bulky. Senator Fatuma Dulo.
Yeah, Chair, I'm just trying to ask, since they have provided the other acknowledgements, why not the 18 million? Number two, when the auditors were on the ground, you should have shared that document with them. So you are telling us the documents are available. Why didn't you avail to the auditors when they came to visit you?
They told the auditors to go and get the records themselves.
No, it's okay.
I mean, which is very contemptuous.
It's okay. So for me, I would say that maybe you are going to cook those documents. If you didn't share with the auditors beforehand, why didn't you share with him?
Yeah, Chair, actually, it was kind of an agreement with the auditors, and as we've indicated in our responses, they were able to visit the VTCs.
So I think it was a wrong instruction to the Auditor General. It was an instruction that belittles them and undermines their role, unless they're the ones who requested.
We didn't request. In fact, I also talked about their response, and I conveyed to him that the responsibility of accountability lies with the person who handles the money. So if you disburse the money, then you should know whom you have disbursed, and that money should be acknowledged. Just like the CDFs, and I gave him the example of CDFs, that when bursaries are sent to schools, the CDF manager confirms that the schools have actually received the money.
And you indicated that the practice now, there is now accountability statements going forward?
They are preparing financial statements.
They are preparing financial statements going forward?
Yes.
Governor, anything to say as we close this? Because you had the concern of Senator Dulo, you had my concern.
Yes, Chair, I want to also agree with your concern and the concern of the Honorable Senator. And I think I agree, I raised this issue when we had a meeting with them yesterday, that this should have been provided, and it's a very easy thing to do. So it's true that this is an oversight on the part of my officers.
Now, Chief Officer, when are you going to provide the remaining 18 million?
Chair, given the next 2 weeks, that is possible to be provided.
Auditor General, is that something you want to, if they can provide? I don't want you to go to the...
I think this can be done.
Yeah, because there are a few things of verification, like that PV number.
Yes.
Still pending.
Yes.
So as you deal with that PV number in the next 1 week, I think let's give it 1 week, so that we get one report from the Auditor General on the outstanding issues.
Okay.
Number 6, failure to prepare Facility Improvement Fund financial statements.
I wish to confirm that they are now preparing financial statements.
Okay, this shall be directed to the Public Investments Committee chaired by the Senator for Vihiga, Senator Osotsi, and he'll be able to deal with this. Let's go to cash and cash equivalent, where there are a lot of issues around reconciliation. Number 1, Vihiga County Nutrition International Account. The issues raised there, have they been resolved?
They have been resolved. As I indicated, these were issues that arose out of cut-off problem. They are receiving money after year end. When the cut-off date is 30th June, they are receiving money up to about 14th of July. And at that time, they were not able to support, they were not able to tell us what these amounts related to. But subsequently, we were able to confirm.
Vihiga County CRF account?
I wish also to confirm that the issue has been resolved.
Vihiga County recurrent account?
This was also addressed, Chair.
Vihiga County deposits account?
I wish to state here that I'm unable to confirm the 50 million that was rushed by the Kenya Revenue Authority. I'm unable to confirm that they received this money into the county deposit account.
Now let's pen 7.4 so that we deal with it alongside number 8, because number 8 also deals with deposits and retention. So let's look at 7.5, Vihiga County Road Maintenance Levy Fund.
This is also an issue. I needed to see the completion certificates, which have not been made available to me.
You have a problem with the RMLF there? The Road Maintenance Levy Fund?
Yes.
What about 7.6, the Climate Change Bank Account?
This one was resolved.
Okay, so let's go back to, let's deal with 7.5, then we deal with 8 and 7.4 concurrently. What is the issue on 7.5? Just read it out.
7.5, the account, Vihiga County Road Maintenance Levy. The account had a balance of Kenya shillings 69,480,557 as at 30th June 2021, out of which Kenya shillings 67,447,849 was received during the year under review. No reason was however provided for non-utilization of the funds that were meant to improve the roads. In addition, the management did not provide an approved annual work plan for road improvements to facilitate utilization of the funds.
Governor, what is your response?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, allow me to request the CC in charge of public service to answer, because he was then the CC in charge of infrastructure.
Thank you, Chair. The management response to the auditor's observation to the above subject matter is as follows. The approval of Roads Maintenance Levy Fund work plan by the Kenya Roads Board came in late. That is at the beginning of the third quarter of the financial year under review. It is important to note that the procurement process is elaborate with specified timelines, which had to be adhered to before expensing the funds that were received. Since the process could not have been started without the approved work plan, and however, these funds were later utilized for the intended purpose after the completion of the works, and the approved work plan is available for further verification. And I would want to add that we can provide the completion certificates for this given time, Chair.
What was within the financial year? The query seems to be non-utilization of funds.
Yes.
So the utilization occurred in the subsequent financial year.
Yes.
So chances are we shall address that in the audit for the subsequent financial year.
Exactly.
So then it's something we can append as you consider how it was used. I think the other question was value for money, where you receive the money but you're not using it.
You're not using, yes.
I think let's stick to the expenditure bit and then look at that expenditure in the subsequent financial year, where you are saying the work plans were applicable.
Thank you.
So we go to deposits and retentions. I believe issue number 8 and issue number 7.4 are related.
Yeah.
And I think number 8 is broader.
Yes.
So read out issue number 8.
Chair, I need to go on record.
Oh, sorry, Senator Mofaya. Please go on record.
Chair, I found you very busy with my good friend Senator Dichilon. This is Senator Mwenda Kataya Mofaya, Raganithi County, and a member of this committee, and Chair, I'm sorry that I'm not able to come on time.
We are aware you are chairing the Delegated Legislation Committee, so your apologies are well noted. We proceed to number 8 on deposits and retention.
This is as disclosed in 23 to the financial statements. The statement of assets and liabilities reflects accounts payable balance of Kenya shillings 226,569,839 as at 30th June 2021, comprising of retention monies of Kenya shillings 145,073,447 and statutory deductions of Kenya shillings 81,496,392. However, the deposit bank account, which holds retention monies, reflected a balance of Kenya shillings 67,073,447 as at 30th June 2020, resulting to a variance of Kenya shillings 78 million, Although the management indicated the variance was as a result of inter-account borrowing of Kenya shillings 50 million to the recurrent account and Kenya shillings 28 million to the county assembly, the accounts were not reflected in the county assembly's financial statements or supported by a recording of the borrowing in the recurrent account. Under the circumstances, the amount of Kenya shillings 28 million is accounted for as both a trade receivable and trade payable, and the accuracy and validity of the accounts payable balance of Kenya shillings 226,569,939 reflected in the statement of asset and liabilities as at 30th June 2021 could not be confirmed.
Governor, your response?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, allow me to request the Chief Officer Finance to respond.
Thank you, Chair. We respond as follows. The County Assembly borrowed a total of Kenya shillings 38 million from the County Executive in respect to car loan and mortgage to members of the County Assembly. At the time of the audit, only Kenya shillings 10 million had been refunded to the County Executive, leaving an outstanding balance of Kenya shillings 28 million, which was reported as receivables in the financial statement at the end of the financial year. The amount reported under accounts receivables of Kenya shillings 145,073,447 were ledger balances that comprised of account balances of Kenya shillings 67,073,447, recurrent account of Kenya shillings 50 million, and account receivables of Kenya shillings 28 million Kenya shillings. We have attached notes 22 and 23 to FS. We have also attached the County Assembly Bank statement confirming remittance of the amount, and we've also attached letter from the County Assembly requesting for Kenya shillings 38 million. Thank you, Chair.
On which provision of the law did you do that borrowing?
Chair, I'm equally puzzled. I didn't know the county executive is like a bank that can people can approach you for a loan, Governor. This is the first time I've had the county executive is extending a loan to the assembly. There are very serious implications even on the separation of powers and the ability of the assembly to then oversight the county executive.
So yeah, so what was on what basis of the law were you doing that?
Chair, this was actually based on mutual agreement between the executive.
On what basis of the PFM Act or regulations are you moving money from deposits and retentions account to another entity?
Chairman, I'm unable to.
Are you aware that under the PFM regulations, money set aside for retentions and deposits is not to be drawn for any other cause except for that which it was established?
That is true, Chair.
What do you keep in that account, deposits and retentions?
That is, of course, money retained from contractors' payments.
Is it an asset or a liability?
It is a liability.
Is it your money or it is other people's money?
It is other people's money, Chair.
And so you take other people's money, you transfer to the county assembly. And what is interesting is that the letter by the county assembly makes a very specific request that the 38 million be drawn from your deposit retention account. The county assembly is directing you on which account to debit. Very specific. Request made on 23rd, approval on 24th, money remitted on 25th.
That's the fastest loan approval process.
Governor, you're in office at this time. You have to say something about this. Is it legal?
It is not.
Is it legal, first of all, to withdraw from deposits and retentions for any other purpose beside paying contractors?
It is illegal.
If there's going to be a borrowing between the assembly and the executive, what are the processes and what kind of approvals should there be?
As far as I know, it's only the money that comes through our CRF account for the assembly that should be remitted to them, and nothing else.
So what do you make of this letter of 23rd February 2021, which was actioned 2 days later?
This was an illegal, this is a letter that was actually requesting for illegal process. And I think it's...
who are the people who should then be in, which is a prison in Vihiga? Is there a prison in Vihiga?
Yes.
Which one?
Bale prison.
Yeah, who are the people who should be in Bale? As far as this
those who authorize this.
Who are they? Just look at that letter and call them out.
There is the CEC member in charge of finance.
Your appointee?
And economic planning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Who else?
There is also the clerk who wrote the letter.
Mm-hmm. Well, the clerk was just trying his luck.
Yeah.
I don't think the clerk has any problem. He was just trying his luck, directing you to withdraw from the retention account. And you fell for it. So
the finance people who approved
Chief Officer Finance, CEC Finance,
yeah,
and the Chief Executive Officer.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Chair, through you.
Where you are the Chief Executive Officer. So you should all be in Bale prison, Governor. The CEO, the CEC, and the Chief Officer.
Chair, I want to just mention that if, Governor, if you've not seen that, check out and see what happened to the CC Finance of Homa Bay County. Same thing. And these things it looks like they are being shared from one place to the other.
What about the 50 million? There was another 50 million that was borrowed from this retention. Has that been alluded to? There was an inter-account borrowing of 50 million to the recurrent account and 28 million to the county assembly. Where is approval for that? Illegality? You have only explained the 28. We are not seeing anything on the 50 million.
What is the 15.4?
Yes, Chair, the 50 million, that is query number 7.4, and I want to confirm the concerns from the Senator. The money was repaid back to retention.
Where is the evidence?
Where's your response to 7.4? Which appendix is it?
It's from Chair, from serial number 385 all through to serial number 387.
So request, like you gave us an initiation. An initiation for the other amount of the 28 million. Who initiated the request to transfer the 50 million from deposits and retentions to KRA?
Chair, this was by the Treasury, then of course the head of Treasury being the CEC Finance.
Where's
and maybe
the letter?
if you give me the... No, we don't have a letter, Chair.
So it was done Juakali?
Maybe we could go through the response so that we understand the facts under the matter.
No, those are stories. You moved 50 million from a ring-fenced account to settle different obligations. It's like Sifuna has set up a fund for his children's birthday. Then he moves that money to pay dowry for his second wife. You see, it's as absurd as that.
As if you have a story in mind about Sifuna.
Chair, if you allow me, you can look at serial number 388. Is a letter, serial number 388, written by the CEC then. This money was deducted directly from our bank through Central Bank by KRA, through our communication to Central Bank. And also we wrote a protest letter in 388 by the CEC then. So it was a direct deduction from our account.
So there was an agency notice?
Yes. Agency notice is under serial number 386. Serial 386 has the agency notice.
But you're saying that they debited your recurrent account?
Yes.
With 50 million. So how then did that affect specifically deposits and retentions? Do you have a separate account for deposits and retentions?
Chair, what happened, we had made a requisition for salaries. And now when that reduction of 50 million was done, it means we had now a deficit for salaries.
So you raided the deposits and retentions to pay salary?
As a short-term measure.
So you are telling the wrong story. Governor, you are telling the wrong story. The 50 million went towards payment of salary. The KRA agency notice affected your CRF, thereby impairing your ability to pay salary. And so you went and raided the deposits and retentions account. Isn't that the fact, Chief Officer? Isn't that the sequence of events?
True, Chair.
Yes, so stick to it. Do not blame KRA for raiding your deposits and retentions account. You are the ones who raided that account. And control of budget, I think these are some of the issues we need to find a way out of, because counties make requisitions for purpose A, they end up spending on purpose B, which is completely unrelated to the initial intention of the requisition. But Governor, you understand the scenario, all the illegalities that are being committed by the officers under your watch. And I think you as a CEO, I don't think you can run away, continue to run away from your officers. Has the money been made good, as asked by Senator Fatuma Dula? Have you replenished your deposits and retentions account?
Yes, we confirm, Chair. The money was subsequently refunded back to the deposits account.
Is there a bank statement to that effect?
Yes, there is. Serial number
393.
93?
Yes.
393
to 394. On that, on page 1, you'll see a credit of 50 million under 390.
On 14th of July, 2021. When did you raid the fund, the account? Which month?
So, Chair, the borrowing was done on 14th of July, 2021. It's indicated on serial number 393 up there.
393 is a borrowing?
Yes.
14th actually, it's, well, let's call it the raiding. The raiding was done on that date.
Then the refund was made on 8th of December, 2021, serial number 390. There's a refund of 10. So, Assembly, at the time of the audit, they had refunded 10 million. A chair. The other update is not here.
So they were to pay 5 million for a period of how many years or months?
So I think, members, just to be able to make progress, we all agree, and even the governor agrees, that this was an irregular operation. And the PFM has very clear provisions. I think it mentions even deposits and retention accounts. And we have dealt with this in other counties in the past. We shall pronounce ourselves in report writing, but we have made it clear that on this account, maybe some people need to take responsibility. And it cannot just be the officers because of the materiality of the amounts involved. This is a decision that cannot be arrived at without the entire management being part of it. And the entire management would not just be the CEOs and the CCs, but the CEO is also an important player in that circle. So we shall give necessary directions, but our observation is that this was highly irregular and should not be allowed to continue. And the next time the Assembly is requesting for a lending, if that can be allowed, it should not be as explicit as they've done here, where they're even telling you the account to charge. The decision on which account to charge must be yours. That is in the event that became necessary. The letter by the Assembly simply shows us that there was collusion. People sat down, you coached the Assembly, what to write, which account you should charge, and then 1 or 2 days later the amount was released. That's not how to run government. I don't think at the level of Parliament and the National Executive we are able to pull those kind of shady deals, and it should not apply in the county. So we agree that we'll pronounce ourselves on this as we do our report on who should take responsibility. We proceed to summary of fixed assets register. This one, Auditor General has reported that the additions have now been supported.
I confirm that the additions of 408,840,888 have been supported.
So what is pending are assets from the defunct local authorities?
Yes, sir.
And that is a conversation that is going on in the Finance and Devolution Committees, and also at IBEC and at the Council of Governors. Okay, so we can make that observation. On returned county revenue fund issues, returned CRF issues, Auditor General?
This was a counting issue, and I think according to how the template had been prepared at that time, so the issue has been resolved.
Fine, we shall take the written responses. On outstanding salary advances,
there is still an amount of 974,115 that is still outstanding.
Auditor, sorry, Mr. Governor, we have looked at your written response. You are saying that the amount was to be deducted from the county assembly, and so far you have not received the money from the county assembly.
Correct.
Yet you just lent them another 38 million without deducting your money.
Yeah, these were interests that were taken when we still had one account which was being administered by the executive. This is when these interests were taken, and mainly they were the MCS, a number who actually left. They were not re-elected.
Senator Sifuna?
Governor, why can't you do what KRA does to you and retain money at source? How do you send money to someone who owes you money? That's a question I'm asking. You just retain if they ask. And Governor, if I want to advise you, you should be very forthright with the sort of political environment that was obtaining around some of these transactions. It might help you if you don't paint a proper picture of what was going on, because we know the sort of relationship that exists between MCAs and their governors. There's a lot of blackmail that happens. You should share that information. It shouldn't come from me. But I'm saying, why would you send money to somebody who owes you money? Why can't you retain this money at source? Let the assembly know that you have retained it because they owe you money.
Senator Sifuna, maybe just for point of information, is that I was a chair of devolution committee at a time when I was called upon to act as an arbitrator between the assembly and the executive in Vihiga. And it might appear as if the dates and the period is similar to the period when these transfers were done. So it might have been silencing fees rather than.
You know, Chair, I don't know whether it's the CEO of Finance or who. The whole thing is about emotion. Is it scratch your back, I scratch your back. I think that is the arrangement. Because I have not captured any complaint from any of the parties. You know, if somebody owes you money, then you go ahead and give them more money. You know, the county assemblies are the source of impeachment. And you know, there could be that kind of arrangement, which is motion anyway. Actually, they declared it motion. So motion can be interpreted in any form. It's motion.
But
it's motion.
Governor, please deal with this matter. This is wasting our time as a Senate. You are sending 649 million to the county assembly. If they owe you 678,000, chief officer, do reconciliation with the clerk, retain that money. Do what Senator Sifuna is saying, and so that we don't have to waste time on things that can be fixed.
Chair, I agree with you, and that is the position I hold. And I gave a directive that this should be done, but it was not done.
So we are giving you the final opportunity to recover that money, failure to which we will then be recommending surcharges on those who are responsible to recover it, because I think that's what the law states. So we direct that this be, if the assembly does not remit it, then this, since it's confirmed, it should then be deducted from the allocation to the assembly.
Chair, perhaps to just remind the governor that he doesn't have the luxury of time. There is a bill before the Senate to give assemblies autonomy, where this money will be sent directly from Treasury to the account of the assembly. This is something MCAs have been fighting for. So you might not have powers to deduct for too long. That's what I'm telling you.
Thank you for the advice. Chair, I'll make sure this money is deducted as soon as possible.
Please, it's so directed. We proceed to the next issue, which is on other matters. Budget control and performance. We'll take note of the written responses. Late exchequer releases. We'll also take note of written responses. We'll spend a little time on pending bills. So, what was your finding, Auditor General?
Note 1 of other disclosures reflect pending bills totaling Kenya shillings 690, 579, 945, 941, which is a reduction of Kenya shillings 514, 229, 222, as compared to Kenya shillings 1,204, 809, 163 as at 30th June 2020. However, the supporting annexure to the financial statement was not presented in the format prescribed by the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board to include date contracted, original amount, balance at the beginning of the year, additions during the year, amount paid during the year, outstanding balance, and any comments. Further, the management did not explain why the bills were not settled during the year they occurred, and the county executive risks incurring additional losses in form of interest and penalties arising from continued delay in the settlement of the bills. In addition, failure to settle bills during the year in which they relate to distorts the financial statements and adversely affects the budgetary provisions for the subsequent year as they form a first charge. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, your response?
Chair, allow me to request the Chief Officer Finance to respond.
Thank you, Chair. We respond as follows. At the time of the audit, the management did not present the pending bills in the prescribed format, though the same was disclosed in the financial statements. However, the management has adopted the template as was prescribed by the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board. Due to late exchequer releases as observed by the auditor above and budget constraints in the year under review, the county executive could not settle the bills as they fall due. And Chair, we have attached Appendix 19, which is the pending bill schedule as prescribed by Public Sector Accounting Standards Board. That is schedule number 484.
Why are the totals different from what the auditor is querying?
Total.
The totals don't relate to the query. Okay, or is that the first column?
First column.
So first column is
690.
690.
Yes. This is what is paid. Additional.
So 690 is balance at the beginning of the year, not at the end of the year.
Yes. That's correct.
Auditor General, that's correct. 690 is balance at the beginning of the year. As per your audit.
Yes, sir.
Then 757 are additions.
Yes, this schedule is 2022.
Is it 2022 or 20? Yeah, is the header correct? Because I thought 690 was a closing balance rather than opening balance for that financial year.
Chair, that is correct. What the auditor is observing, in the year under review, he had not prepared, as he has noted. But in the subsequent year, that is why he's talking of 30th June 2022, we prepared as required.
You see, our interest is to see how that pending bill amount has moved in that financial year. Right. So you closed the financial year at 690 million.
Yes.
That was the end of the financial year.
Yes.
So what you need, what our interest is, if at the end of 30th June 2021 you are owing suppliers 690 million, to what extent has that reduced to date? Because there are issues of reporting, yes, but those are academic.
Yes.
What we are concerned about is that small service provider in Vihiga, whose money forms part of this 690 million. So what has been the movement of that balance?
Yeah, Chair, with your permission, maybe I could give the current position, and the figure has been fluctuating, and as at 28th February 2024, the figure was 1,008 million as the balance of pending bills. 1,008 million.
How much of that relates to the financial year under review?
To that, I will maybe talk of historical pending bills, which as at 28th February stood at about 257 million Kenya shillings.
Historical is how old?
Historical meaning those are pending bills incurred between 2013 and 30th June 2018.
2018?
Correct.
We are dealing with the financial year 2021. Because what if it's 2013 to 2018, then this 690 is not part of that.
No, 690 is, the 257 is part of the 690. The 257 million is part of the 690.
2018.
Correct.
Between 2018 and 2021, there have been additions.
Correct. So maybe, Chair, with you, that one you may need some reconciliation so that we isolate what is now incurred between that. Between
Do we have someone owed money who provided a service in 2013 to date in Vihiga?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
For what reason? For what reason would someone who provided a service in 2013 not be paid in the year 2024?
Yes, there are several reasons, Chair. One of them, as you are aware, we've been having budget constraints because as we've been paying these pending bills, we've also been carrying out current bills and responsibilities. Then number two, Chair, we're also having a challenge in terms of even justifying this bill, because even before I pay, I must have a basis to pay. And documentation has also been a challenge to some of these pending bills.
Senator Onyonka.
Did you set up a task force to investigate those pending bills?
Yes, we did.
Then you did a verification committee, which then again went to verify those cases.
Correct, Chair.
You separated the cases that you could pay because those pending bills did not have any queries.
Correct.
And there were some which had queries.
True.
Out of that list, how much have you paid in your past pending bills up to today?
Thank you, Chair. The original figure verified was 1.2 billion Kenya shillings. And up to 28th February, The balance is 257.
Which February? This February?
Yes, this February, Chair.
So the balance you have of your pending bills which are existing, are those the ones you've verified, or they're the ones which you have incurred recently?
Both categories, Chair.
Okay.
Both categories.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that explains to me.
So,
Senator Sifuna?
Chair, Governor, if a bill is pending from 2013, why can't the county take a position on whether it's going to pay this bill or not? Because it cannot be financial constraints that keep a bill from 2013. And I think there was a directive that you prioritize older bills. So if a bill is from 2013, it is clear you are not going to pay. I want to know how many of those involve matters that are in court currently. Because if I am a supplier, you have not paid me since 2013, I should be in court with you. Are there matters that are in court regarding these pending bills?
Yes. Yes, they are.
So what proportion would you say is the matters that are in court of this 257 million?
Maybe a clarification, Chair. Of the 257, we may not say there is a portion that is in court. The cases you've seen going to court are those cases that were rendered as ineligible for payment. Those are the clients you've seen going to court to try now to seek orders to have county pay this.
Bwana CEO, you're saying there is somebody who actually is eligible to be paid from 2013 that you are not paid up to now. That's how many years later? 11 years.
That is true, Chair.
You see, this is why there was a discussion in the Senate the other day. Governor, we are thinking as a Senate we should tie your hands as governors even more. We will send you the money due for Vihiga, but we will ring fence money for payment of pending bills. Because there is really no justification why somebody who supplied something in 2013 cannot be paid. And when the money goes, you prioritize other bills to be paid. There can be no justification why you pay somebody from 2019, 2020, and you haven't paid 2013. So if Senator Osotsi allows us, in this particular financial year, we should say, out of the money that goes to Vihiga, we want to ring-fence 250 million for payment of pending bills from 2013. I think that will be fair, Governor.
Senator, I agree with you. And in the budget we are working out 2024, 2025, we have agreed that priority will be to pay pending bills, and we shall suspend any other development agenda we have until all the pending bills are paid. And that's what we are putting in the current fiscal strategy paper, which is being discussed by the Assembly.
Senator Osotsi?
Chair, this matter is under the intervention, currently under the intervention of the Finance Committee, following my request. But I want to agree with the committee that a lot more focus needs to be put on historical bills. The county has just provided some update to this house on the pending bill issue, and a number of things are indicated in there. One is that they have come up with a schedule to pay pending bills for a period of 3 years, and I thought 3 years could be longer, particularly for historical bills. So maybe they need to consider reducing that period to maybe one year or 1.5 years. Number two, there is an indication that the historic bills that are in there, those bidders have been communicated to provide some documentation. But the information I'm getting is that that communication is yet to be made to those particular bidders. So maybe the Bwana CEO, you can, through the governor, you can confirm this, because this morning I got a call from some of those people saying that they have not received any communication from the county regarding the particulars they are supposed to provide. But those bills have been categorized as eligible bills, which needs to be paid. So I think maybe I would propose that priority be given to the historical bills, and that period be reduced from 3 years to maybe 1.5 years, so that those people their money is paid, and so that the county eases off the pressure of court cases. But for now, Chair, if you may allow, I know this matter is not in your domain for the moment, but the issue of communication to the affected persons, the information I'm getting is that they have not been communicated to, though the report says they were communicated to provide some particulars. So I think that's a matter that James can respond to.
Could you respond briefly?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think to address the concerns by Senator Osoti, I know, as I said, sometimes we first constrain in budget when paying these historical pending bills. But even as we pay them, if as much as they were cleared for payment, we also assure ourselves that the required documentations are on file before we pay. So as we process payments, we also sometimes find it necessary to engage them to also ensure they provide necessary documentations to facilitate payment. But it's not a general communication to the clients.
Now, we must hold you to account on avoidable expenses. For example, if you look at page 491 of your pack, 491, there is an entry for KMK Law LLP. I want to assume that that's a law firm, where you owed them 14 million at the beginning of the year, added 23 million, paid 24, and closed the year with a balance of 13 million. Are you seeing that? 491, KMK Law. Are we on the same page?
Yes, you're on the same page.
I'm sure these big amounts must ring a bell.
Yeah,
what
correct.
service was rendered here?
This was a court case with respect to construction of stalls at Mbale Market, if I'm correct, Chair.
So what were the amounts for? Legal fees?
Both the construction cost for the client and, of course, Chair, there is an element of legal costs.
So there were damages and then there were legal fees. The county had to pay certain damages.
Yes, that is true.
The county had to pay damages.
Included in that.
So there's legal fees and there's damages.
And also now the principal amount for the construction of the stalls.
The county lost the case.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have 13 million pending due to a law firm from the year 2020, you think lawyers are stupid? They will take their money without interest?
Although, Chair, on that one, I wish to clarify, this, as we indicated, was at 30th June 2022. But as we sit here, we've since cleared that balance for that particular case.
And of course, since it took time, it took at least 1 year for it to be resolved. Was there an interest? Was there a cost for the time value of money? Because your normal service provider, your hotel, might not have the muscle, but a law firm will charge you interest for the time that you have delayed to pay.
Yes, Chair, you are right. The interests and other costs are part of the amounts that are in
so
those
OAG,
additions.
I think when you're also looking at this, please point out where there is an avoidable cost. That is interest on payments like this to law firms, interest on KRA, and other statutory deductions.
We are well guided. Sure.
We must make that be borne by the officers or the decision makers who delay, unless you are able to demonstrate that Treasury delayed in disbursing funds or that there were other factors that stopped you from making those contributions. The reason I raise that is that a county like Nairobi has a loan of 5 billion Kenya shillings, and the interest they pay on that loan is equivalent to what they collect in the Gikomba market. So all those traders every day just work to pay the loan. That is an avoidable interest. It's an avoidable cost that someone must take responsibility for. So I think this thing of pending bills is completely murky. And Governor Otichilo, I cannot cry for the traders in Vihiga louder than you because they vote for you. You are supposed to be their father. I cannot cry for them louder than Senator Osotsi. So I think we can follow up what Senator Osotsi has raised before the Finance Committee. But the key thing is to ensure that we settle what has